Roll call. Ken.
Here.
Doug.
Yes.
Joel. Sue.
Yes.
And Dick.
Here.
Alright. Approval of the agenda as presented and or amended.
Make a motion, we move Sheriff 19A, I believe it is,
Yep, correct.
up to after 4, before 5.
What are you here for, sir?
Adam Jewell with both infrastructure,
Number
representing DOT
Number
on the
7.
sidewalk.
Okay, thank you. 5, 6, and 7 work. Those 3 people are right there in order.
Okay.
And then 10 and 11. Wanna move those up, Terry?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You guys wanna move 10 and 11 up?
Yes.
Sure, I
Yep.
move 10, 11 up
Move after 7?
after 7. So I've got 19A moved up before 5, and 10, 11 after 7.
Okay. Further discussion?
I'll
Yes,
second.
sir.
Thank you. Further discussion? Sue?
Further discussion, or a question, I guess. The public hearing on number 15, is that on March 8th, or it should be April?
April 8th,
Yeah.
That's what I thought, and both of them that are on the
correct.
wrong date.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. So, Sue?
Yes.
Joel? Derek?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Doug?
Yes.
Alright. On to open forum. 5-minute time limit. Comments from the public on items not on the agenda.
Rich.
And Rich.
Derek, you need a favor of setting it for 5 minutes?
Sure.
Let me know when you got it.
Ready when you are.
Okay. My name's Rich Werman. I have had several people asking me what were the results of your dangerous dog investigation. So because it was a public complaint, I wish to share verbatim what you told me rather than me possibly misquoting you. You guys have a copy in front of you with green of a back and forth text between the mayor and I. I started by asking, may I ask when you will be making a decision on Everett's dog? And he said, I have made my decision. The dog will remain. The residents have taken the permit out to build a fence. They were also subject to a fine which has been paid. Our goal is to improve behavior, and I believe that we have gotten the point across. I have also warned them any future instances and the dog will be removed. At which time I asked for clarity, how do you define future instances? Does that include it not being on a leash? Would a picture suffice if so, or must it be attacking someone or some dog while out of its yard? And the mayor said off leash, off property would be the condition, picture is fine. So I've had several people asking me, and I don't know if we make this a part of the public record, then I'll be able to refer them where to go to get an answer, I guess, from here on. But you said our goal is to improve behavior. I strongly but respectfully disagree. Where does our ordinance say anything like that? Let me help you, it doesn't. No one on this council nor the mayor has the expertise nor any training to somehow improve an aggressive dog's behavior. Our goal, I would argue, is to ensure the safety of our residents by simply applying the preponderance of evidence when interpreting the ordinance's verbiage as to whether or not the dog meets the definition of dangerous as defined in that ordinance. And by the way, I will expect you to honor that next off-leash, off-property condition. But here's my fear. Our mayor has now single-handedly set a terrible precedent. If I in the future, as an owner of a dog that has both been accused and exhibited behavior to be possibly deemed dangerous, I will simply claim I want equal treatment before any action to remove my dog is taken. In other words, I want the same 3 or more attacks forgiven as were done with Everett's Rottweiler before any action is taken, and I will expect the city to somehow work with me to change my dog's behavior since that has been expressed as the city's goal. his unilateral decision puts us in a very potentially awkward position. So, as is my usual pattern, if I bring a concern to the council, I will offer a solution. If you recall, I helped write the current version of the dog ordinances, so I will own responsibility when I say parts of it need to be changed. So also in front of you is a new wording for the ordinance that gives the decision back to the entire council, not just one person. My hope is that at the end of this council meeting, when the council has an opportunity to add agenda items, that someone makes a motion to add my proposal offered today, and that at least 3 of you would vote in favor of adding my proposal to the next agenda and allowing a discussion of it. Derek, you have said you wanted residents afforded opportunities to discuss matters they deem important. I have talked to 13 people, made an entry on Facebook asking people to tell me whether they would prefer one person or the council as a whole, and to a one, which would now mean 27 people, nobody has said they prefer having their dog's fate determined by one person only. So this is why I think it needs to be changed. So my rewrite simply says, 1, if a complaint is brought, the mayor leads an investigation and any council member can participate. 2, once the investigation is complete, a public hearing date is set. And 3, at the hearing, both sides may present their facts, but the entire council's majority decision stands. No appeals necessary nor allowed. I think it's a simpler process than what we have. One might argue there is still an appeal process where the dangerous dog owner can refute the first decision if deemed dangerous. But what about the person that brought the complaint? There is no process currently for the person that brought the complaint that feels the decision was bad to have a second chance to have the council make that decision. So the motion simply says, that you have it in front of you in red, I move to add a discussion of a possible revision of our current dog ordinance, chapter 57, dangerous and vicious animals, more specifically 5704, seizure, impoundment, and disposition, to items 2 through 5. The discussion will center around changing the final decision on the status of an animal from being made by the mayor only to being a decision of the council as a whole. And I talked to Steve Gass and I rewrote the ordinance, so you guys have a template to start with if you're willing to discuss and later change it. So that's my main concern. Prejudices can enter into it. Thank you.
Rich? Anybody else for public?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say I appreciate being able to work in, for the city, on the city council for the past 3 months. That it's been a great experience, and just in my wheelhouse. I love getting the accounting data and going through that and pulling through insights and creating dialogue from that, and I think that was really great. And I just want to give a shout out to Wendy and Carrie for, you know, supporting all that, getting the data out of our accounting system and allowing all that. And, I really enjoyed it. It's almost like having a job again, doing all that. So Derek, carry on. Doug as well. So I look forward to, you know, if you're through committees or anything like that, or have questions as you go through the budgeting process, you know, I'm open to a call or an email or whatever. So just want to say thanks for the opportunity. It's great.
Thank you for serving as much as you did.
Alright. And any more public?
Unless they're on the phone, I can't tell.
Got somebody on the phone?
Alright, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Jill, when is the proper time to introduce the motion
The motion
for
for,
the dog ordinance?
we can do that probably during the council report.
Okay, thank you.
I move to pass consent agenda, with the exception of B. We'll have to drop that one out because Sue and Ken were not here that night.
Correct.
So B as in boy.
So B is in boy. So I'll move to pass our A through H minus B.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Alright, consent agenda item A, B,
No,
or
just B.
excuse me, 4B.
I'll move pass, 4B.
Second.
Further discussion?
We got 2 people.
I only have 2 people to
Yeah.
to approve it.
So we can't.
What do you think, Barry? Say
So we have
it.
when-
I think Derek can sign off on it as a third. Since he's been recently appointed to the same
He
position.
wasn't here either.
Understand, but we just need somebody that can approve it. To make it
Can you break
Cause,
the tie?
cause he's taken Perry's
I can
place, and
vote.
Perry,
Yep,
No, he
Harry was here.
wasn't sworn in at the last meeting, so he was not an official member of the council.
I understand, and Perry is no longer an official member of the council either.
Right,
So now I
so-
only have the 2 members that are here that are available, so what do you
Right.
want me to do?
Well, maybe we'll have to wait until next time.
it'll
You
still be the
can't
same.
do it then with-
Still can't do it. Cause it'll still be the 3 people that weren't here.
Well,
Mhm.
either you
Giving
do it
guidance.
illegally or you do it the legal way.
There is no legal way to do it at this point.
They
Well,
don't.
then we do it illegally.
So they just are unapproved?
We'll table it for now.
Yeah,
Okay.
table
We'll
4B.
bring it 4B back to the next meeting.
So you may change my motion to, well, it doesn't make any difference if we make a motion.
Yeah.
Just still can't vote on
I
it.
can't vote on it, so I'll move it to table.
Okay.
We'll readdress at the next meeting after any clarification.
Okay.
I will look it up, but I don't have that ability. Alright, on to 19A. Sheriff, Mr. Powers.
Hello.
Mr. Powers.
I'd say in the next month and a half, you'd start being able to see our speed trailer getting out again. We usually bring it out once our uniform change over to short sleeves when the weather's nice. So it kind of depends on the weather. But start thinking about where you might want that. I'm guessing I already probably know your answers. But that way I can pass that along to Deputy Schrader. He's the one that kind of facilitates where it goes and when it's there. So start thinking about where you want that focused at and what directions, and hopefully we can make some of those options happen.
Sounds good. Excuse me. I can think of
Our
three
talk
primary.
last month must have helped a little bit. I seen coverage in the daytime,
Mm-hmm.
so that was good. Thank you very much.
Yep, we're gonna start focusing on where we're at during the days and visibility wise, and I spend a few mornings. I go off duty at 7 a.m. so I spend a few of my mornings on Main Street running radar during some of the commuter traffic hours, just making some visibility there too. So continue to do that as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything for the sheriff? Thank you, sir.
All right, have a good night.
Appreciate
You bet. You too.
Anybody have any specific locations where we should suggest the trailer to go?
Well, since our little speed sign isn't working out front, out south, maybe just right there by the
Elevator.
cross, elevator.
Okay. I was thinking, north on Broad, or, on Broad Street, Baldwin Street,
Baldwin, yep, that's where I was thinking.
coming into town.
Coming in town.
Coming in,
So,
yeah.
yep, going out, it's not such a big deal. Into town. Okay. Alright. On to number 5, discussion and possible approval pursuant to section 41-14 of the Maxwell Code of Ordinance of the Old Settlers Steering Committee request to conduct a fireworks display during the 2026 Old Settlers celebration.
I'm just here if you have any questions.
I think we didn't have fireworks last year, but the last time we did, there was concern about waiting a few more minutes after the rodeo's done,
Yes.
so they can get their horses put away.
Correct, yeah, and we have talked to the rodeo, communicated with the rodeo committee about us doing fireworks, and the main reason they wanna do, the committee would like to do fireworks is for the 250th anniversary of America. So this probably won't be an every year thing by any means, at least and my thoughts. We have talked to the fireworks, display that we're talking to. They're going to use no report, meaning that, the fireworks won't have booms. So that will also help. And have talked to the rodeo about, timing and that sort of stuff. So we'll probably have our firework display people have a phone online with the rodeo people. They'll take their cue from the rodeo as far as when to start.
Very good.
Not necessarily like 9 o'clock, let's hit them,
No,
it'll
right.
be more of, tell us when you're in between slack and that, and we'll work it out, so.
Very good.
Yeah.
The one thing that I wanted, it says approval is contingent upon the following. You don't have the insurance certificate listed down there. So-
We haven't gotten it, I didn't wanna sign anything with the firework display company
Mhm.
until I had approval from the city.
Right.
They have guaranteed me they'll give us all of that once we're approved.
Okay.
And you bring it into us.
Yeah.
What's the company?
It is, it's
4G.
4G Pyros.
Okay.
And then are you shooting them off from the same place that we have in the past?
We
or-
will be, so 4G, when I met with them, they actually have a computer program that they map out, and then they measure from the location to see distance from houses, to make make sure it's within legal bounds. And the area we picked was it'd be the southwest corner of the Kathy Fricky soccer field. So that far corner back by Army Post, which is one of the other reasons why I had requested for Army Post to be closed as well that whole weekend. And that also avoids the issue with the pole and people parking in that area. It still leaves that for the pole. We don't have to interfere with any of their plans.
Did you ever check with Becky to see why they chose, or why the fireworks had always been over at the tree dump? And what they found out about the location you're talking about? It might be a good idea to do that, because if I remember correctly from the meetings here, that there was an issue with that location. That's why I'm suggesting you check with Becky and see if she remembers what the problems were before you make final decision on it.
Yeah.
Just trying to be helpful.
To my knowledge, I don't know in the past when we did fireworks, when I did them for Old Settlers, we let them off in like the center of the ball fields and things like that, which they said could be done, but a lot of the issue with that is there's just like a specific dot on the ball field to make it legal within parameters.
And
So-
that might be the same type of
Yeah.
thing that's over there, so
Yeah.
it would be good to check with her.
Yeah.
I told myself I've never got
Dodging on the backside of Casey.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
those days.
Uh-huh.
My kids were crying.
Yeah, they were very close to people when we did them there.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve this with getting your insurance papers.
Yeah, and they
Up to
have
date.
told me that they will include the city and Old Settlers Committee on that policy.
And that you'll check with Becky to make sure.
Sure.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Ken,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Derek.
Yes.
Alright.
Thank you.
Number 6.
Oh, congratulations on all the money you
Oh,
raised for
thank
the
you so
Old
much.
Settlers.
We had a great time that supported
Had
us,
a
so.
great time down there.
Yeah, thank you.
$10,000.
Number 6, discussion and possible action on the city's 2026 insurance renewal review with Melissa Johnson, president of Midwest Insurance Corporation.
Sounds good. You guys have the proposal for the renewal in front of you. This one's a pretty easy year in comparison to some other years. We'll start on the property side. We really didn't make a ton of changes this year. Inflation did increase all the property values up by about $500,000, so we were at a total of $12,426,000 of coverage. Just a reminder, we did decide on a $25,000 deductible. For those who weren't here in the past, we did that because If the deductible was lower than 1% of the building value, we had to pay a deductible on each building, on 1% of that. So now with our $25,000 deductible, the only building that applies to is the wastewater treatment facility. So if we had a wind or hail event, and it took out the whole town, we would pay the 25,000 plus 43,000 for that wastewater treatment facility. So also just a reminder, there's a wind hail damage exclusion on all metal buildings and roofs. And anything over 15 years old for roofs, it will be no cash value. So, but yeah, other than that, no other changes besides Wendy and I went ahead and added 93 Metcalf. We didn't add it last year because of the condition that was in. You guys took a lot of time and effort and put that into there. We let EMC know that, and so they agreed to put it on replacement cost. So we're insuring at $478,000 right now. We didn't know if they were going to go that direction because of the exterior, sometimes the way it looks. The insurance companies have concerns with that, but I said we'll probably be painting it within the next year or two. So at that point, we have full coverage on that if something were to happen to that. Next section is crime. Perry mentioned the $1 million requirement. I did reach out to EMC, and due to the state CPA report deficiencies, they weren't willing to offer the $1 million. I will just point out I do a lot of city insurance, and Ankeny is the only one that has $1 million in coverage. So just in comparison, most cities your size carry about $100,000. So something to consider there. If you do want me to go forward with $1 million and you improve those deficiencies, it will be probably quite expensive. EMC would only be willing to go to 500, and then we'd have to go to the excess market to get your other $500,000. So, no other changes to the auto or the linebacker. One thing to mention on the work comp, your mod did go down from 0.95 to 0.92, which means you are 8% better than your city peers. So you're getting an 8% discount on your work comp, so keep that up. And then your final page has all of your premiums. Took about an 8.5% increase. Most cities took around a 6, so if you add the Metcalf building, that gets us to the 8.5. So there's no really any other big changes. The only optional quote we did offer was a $2 million cyber limit. We offer that to everybody, so it's kind of a decision on if you think you have the exposure to go up to a $2 million limit. But most, again, cities your size carry $1 million limit. What questions do you guys have?
Well, we had at a previous meeting when has it been anything been changed on, we discussed some buildings not being covered or limitations on certain buildings, is that included in this that I may have missed?
This is the full proposal from the insurance company. There's no reductions or removals of any specific buildings on here.
So are we going to continue with that down the road, or is that something that we just forget about and pay it?
Doug, did you find anything in the finance committee that you wanted to adjust or modify?
We did we, Perry?
No, that would move the needle
Yeah,
significantly.
it would be
Considering the risk.
minimal.
Yeah.
There wasn't much, in other words, there wasn't much gain to be got.
Okay.
Yeah, when you think about that $8 million limit, we've kind of talked about it before. It's like, do we insure some of the structures at the park? When you take those off, we're saving maybe a couple $100 a year. Where it's like your big, players are what's causing most of this premium.
Right.
And we saved the bigger portion by moving to that $25,000
You did.
deductible a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge change. So,
Thank you.
no problem.
One of the questions I had.
Yeah.
The address for the park changed. Is that reflected in here too, as far as, I think there was one spot in here that had 101 Army Post? Or is that off the?
I don't know that really matters, because EMC is covering
Everything you own, you own, but
property.
it'd be good to have it accurate. Which one are we talking about?
Location number 4 has 101 Old Settlers.
I forget what that got changed
And
to.
I can't, is it all 88 Trotter now?
It might be.
Is that what it all got changed to?
Wendy, do you know?
I'm gonna double check here.
Okay.
So we tried to add a name to the road in the middle of the park.
Okay.
And by doing that, it changed the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The map committee came back and said, nope, here's your new address. And we didn't really care for it.
And then the other question that I wanna throw out to you.
Yeah.
We don't have it yet, but we've been looking at solar panels.
Okay.
What does that add? I mean, does hail damage,
Cost of solar panels, so whatever they
So,
cost, we just
okay.
add it to the building.
okay?
Yeah.
Just kinda, do you have any idea what a premium would,
How much
would
do
it,
you,
would it go
depends
up
on how much your cost is.
450?
450,000. I mean, it's about what we increased,
So another 2%.
roughly.
yeah, this year. I don't know, it'll probably be maybe another 1,500 to 2,000.
Just
Yeah.
curious
Yeah,
what that would do.
yeah. Yeah, they treat it just like any other roof, like property in the open type structure.
Okay.
So it's obviously a little bit more pricey, but, yeah.
Wendy, when you have a minute, can you get her that address?
Yeah, it's
It
one
doesn't-
oh one Army Post.
Oh, it is
Oh, it is
101.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Oh, Army Post,
Not Old Settlers.
Okay.
Yes.
Army Post Drive,
just Army
Road.
Post Road.
Army Post Road. Okay. What other questions do you guys have?
I don't.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay.
This is an actionable item, so if anybody's interested in taking action on it, I'll entertain it.
A motion that we go through and approve the, proposal in front of us.
Without the increase in salary.
Correct. Without the
Yeah,
option.
we
Sorry,
usually point out the
Yes.
definition of the option things.
I will second.
Further discussion? Sue?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
It is approved. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Number 7 is
Have a nice
discussion
evening.
and possible action on the summer 2027 DOT ADA compliant sidewalk project, Highway 210 and 5th Street. Adam Jewell with Bob Infrastructure is attending.
Did everyone have the drawing? Where the
Yes.
location is?
Okay.
So, just a little background, the DOT will be reconstructing the sidewalks all along Highway 210, in the summer of 2027. So, with doing our design, we noticed there's a painted crosswalk and a school marking at the intersection of Maxwell and 210. And there's no sidewalk, again, east side of Maxwell currently. So, we're proposing to add that about 70 feet of sidewalk to complete the connection from 210 to the existing sidewalk that exists, on the south side, or south of 210, so.
South of, on 5th Street?
Along Maxwell Street, be on the east side of Maxwell.
Fifth and
That'd
Maxwell?
be page 54.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
Fifth and
210 is
5.
Five.
Yeah. 5th Street, Highway 210.
Okay. So, are you, you're with,
With the
Bob
engineering firm, yeah.
Infrastructure? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we recently had a, DOT study, a T study,
Okay.
which is traffic enforcement and something, something. It's a acronym for sidewalk improvement and or safe routing to school. And they had some suggestions from the DOT as well, because it is a DOT, engineered study. So I was wondering what it's gonna take to get the left hand to talk to the right hand with what they're recommending and with what you guys are recommending.
Okay. Yeah, I can follow up with the DOT on that, and see if we can entertain, having those funds available to kind of compensate for this piece of it. Typically with these projects, the DOT stance is they'll do everything along the highway, and the side road crossings are the city's responsibility. So, at a minimum with this,
the DOT would put in the, what I'm calling the ramps, they're shown kind of in pink, but on that side where there isn't sidewalk existing, you just have a square basically. Is to have those crosswalks, you need to have those detectable warnings on either side of the street, so that give us a concrete channel, but, doing that then still leaves that gap that, you know, school crossing would then lead you into the street to walk down Maxwell.
So one of the suggestions out of that TEEP study was to continue the sidewalk along the north side of Fifth Street, from Metcalf to Woodlawn.
Page 56.
Yeah, so I think you guys have it stopping.
You got it stopped right there.
Yeah,
Stopping-
621.
Yeah, stopping at 621. That basically would be another block, and basically another block continuation up to connect that road. So that was just one of the pieces that they had mentioned that I saw in that report today. They talked about this intersection of Fifth and, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not even thinking of the right street.
Fifth and Maxwell.
Yes. I was thinking of Fifth and Maxwell. 52 is Fifth and Main.
54s.
So are they saying that, in the pink here, is that because it's not supposed to be a crosswalk there, or there isn't a crosswalk there?
There is a striped crosswalk there, and there also is a sign, a school crossing sign.
At Fifth and Main Street?
Fifth.
Or is that Metcalf?
Metcalf.
You're a block east of there at Metcalf.
I think I'm looking at the wrong map. 52 shows Fifth and Main with some improvements to the crosswalk, but that's already a four-way crosswalk.
55 is the
Should be at
Metcalf.
Maxwell, yeah.
I think he's talking about Maxwell.
Yeah, I'm
and
talking
Fifth.
Maxwell.
Maxwell and Fifth.
Maxwell and Fifth, okay.
So there is sidewalk along Metcalf, there is not at Maxwell currently.
But didn't the email today indicate, and I think Wendy followed up with the school, that Metcalf would be the one designated, not Maxwell, as a crossing?
Yeah, if that's a preference, then I guess we'd recommend removing that crossing sign and the striped crosswalk and not including those ramps
Metcalf or Maxwell?
at Maxwell.
I think that would be more cost effective,
Right.
especially since there's not sidewalk across that 429 property.
What about the big ditches at,
And that's the other issue at
corner.
Maxwell.
Yep.
well, at Metcalf? The sides, I mean, we've got ponds on either side of Metcalf Street whenever it rains. Right there at the corner of Fifth and Metcalf.
Yeah, it's an elevation issue.
Yes, it is.
Like you're saying both sides of the highway there's
Mhm. Both sides of
Water gets
Metcalf.
retained on the north side of 210. As it flows down from the north end of town south towards 210, stops at that intersection. 210's the barrier.
But historically, the front of the building, the entrance to the building was on Metcalf.
Right.
Now with the new remodel, and kids are still gonna walk, and I think the superintendent put it very well, they're gonna walk wherever they want to,
Yeah.
no matter what you tell them about, this is the designated spot.
Then if that was the case, that might be a good condition for the council to maybe consider having this crosswalk still at the other intersection, but understanding that we're probably gonna be responsible for it. Just my 2 cents on that. Because the kids are gonna walk on both sides of that school.
Yeah.
That's just how it's gonna happen.
But
But there should be a safe route on both sides if that's the way they're going.
being a block apart, most drivers will
Slow in the area.
know, yeah,
Still be
They'll
attending
know
to the
that-
school.
yeah, school area.
I had one other question, cause I think your maps stop at, basically at the, co-op here. And so we had discussed as a city, there's a, I'm looking at page 43, or for you would be the 46 Railway Avenue address.
Yep.
There's a chunk of sidewalk on the north side of the Highway 210 that basically stops. We have a bike trail right there. Our question then would be, we have a lot of traffic that goes out to Dollar General, and we have no safe footpath to get there. Is that something that this project could consider incorporating?
Yeah, the DOT, they were pretty clear on the cost that they wouldn't participate in extending all the way to Dollar General.
Okay.
But yeah, if it was in an agreement, it could be added into this.
Into the
this
project.
order.
So if we were willing to cover the costs at the time while we have the contractors here,
Yeah.
then we could potentially get that added into this project.
Correct, yeah.
So something for the council to
Who's gonna-
consider.
So then, would you design that? I
Yes.
mean, okay.
Yeah.
Bid it out, or I mean,
That
give
would
us,
be part of
yeah,
that
part of
bid.
that bid.
Be part of that bid, yeah.
And we'll have the costs before we would make a decision,
That's,
Good.
because
If we ask them for them now, would probably be the best time.
yeah, well, yeah, but we
As
need to
an
know
option.
before
As
we
an
make any
option.
decisions on anything.
So I guess, just so I'm clear on that, you're asking for sidewalk on the, what would be the east side then?
Yeah.
So,
To run
well,
along the grain out, or the grain bins and.
we talked about this in our community visioning. We wanted to keep the main path on the north side of the sidewalk because the grain bin is not there's no place for a sidewalk there because it's semi-traffic. So we're not typically building 10-inch sidewalks. So cost-wise, it makes sense to keep the pedestrians on the north side. But then we would utilize that crosswalk that's already in place at the bike trail to get them back across to the other side. But then we would connect from that side going straight into Dollar General.
from the bike path south.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the east side of the 210.
Yeah, knowing that I guess is desired, we can discuss that with DOT, and yeah, I mean, the previous discussions it was that, yeah, if it was included in a agreement for the city to pay for that portion,
Yep.
that can be included this way.
The other question I had was on page 52, or at Main and Fifth Street. 52 or 53. We have crosswalks going, or have sidewalks going from each of the four corners, but then in front of, well, it's 405 Fifth Street, it breaks from there.
All the gap.
That gap there. Well, is that because of, why is there no sidewalk in that section right there?
There is sidewalk there right currently. I don't know why there's
So-
nothing indicated on the map, but
So
there
it
is a
has something to
sidewalk.
do
right
with
there.
their
There's a retaining wall.
Retaining wall?
Yeah.
There's a retaining wall.
It's new sidewalk there.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Okay, so it wouldn't have to be replaced, it's just new.
yep, so
Okay.
just the pink that we're showing would connect into the existing
Okay.
sidewalk.
I just wanted to
It's
verify that we-
compliant.
Right.
Yep.
So then the only other question I had is looking at page 44, the maps to me look like that is a double width sidewalk. Is that what this plan is including in replacing for sidewalk from curb to?
The building too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the intent is
And that would be down the business district through town until we got to the residential housing again.
So yeah, we'll be replacing all that curb to building face. Kind of the reason for the line or the break down the middle is to ensure that we have at least 5 feet at the compliant cross slope. So you might see the area that then goes to the curb is a little bit steeper.
Okay.
You guys are projecting that at a 1.5%.
Yeah, everything will be designed at 1.5, and then that gives them the tolerance to stay under 2. But actually 2.1 now, so we give us a little more tolerance on that. But yep.
There was a recommendation to go on east, on the north side, well, south of the senior housing, on the north side of 210, down to Woodlawn.
We already talked about that.
Okay, but did we decide that is in or not in?
We don't know. I asked them to meet with the TEEP grant because that was their recommendation as well.
Because with the new development out there, there was discussion with people on Sixth or Seventh Street about bringing a sidewalk through there, or even potentially North Street to drain the kids. It'd be much safer for them to walk across and then come down Metcalf where the stop lights, or flashing lights and the crosswalk will be. So I wanna make a little broader consideration than just where it was currently. Cause it could be connected to the north, or the discussion that we had regarding bringing something between senior housing and Sixth Street.
But wasn't it, if they came down if they came from the housing unit over to Rock Creek, then it's a sidewalk in between there, between Maxwell and Metcalf, that we talked about, that they would, if they came from the west side and came down Maxwell Street and the sidewalk then over to Metcalf to the crossing.
They'll be coming from the east, so they would be coming west to get to Metcalf. They'd get to Metcalf before they got to Maxwell.
Too many M's.
East side of the school instead of the west side of
Yes,
the school.
that's true, yeah.
So the new housing development would funnel down Metcalf, which then would possibly make this, cause there's gonna be a lot of dirt added in there on the north side of 210 as you go out of town. That's gonna be a very expensive sidewalk to put in.
Mm-hmm.
When we have an alternative that basically is a block north that wraps around the other side instead of coming down south. Be north of senior housing instead of south of the senior housing development. So that was what I wanted to mention.
So I guess, kinda just to summarize with this TEEP study, maybe the next step is to kinda see what we propose to include with this project, to make sure that's what you guys are wanting, and then if this funding from the TEEP study can be incorporated. But then,
So there's no funding with the TEEP study. It was more of a telling us where our sidewalks or our crosswalks need to be improved.
okay.
It was a grant program that we received for safe sidewalks to school because of the highway coming to town. So we were trying to identify which intersections to utilize, which intersections to improve, with that.
We've discussed focusing on one coming from the north across 210, but there was a similar setup here, just going right up Main Street here. 3rd and 4th Street are both kind of semi-designated. It would be smart to designate one of those as the lighted one with the paint instead of having both.
So I think that was why we asked for the TEEP study, and because we didn't know what the best solution was for which intersections should be utilized. So.
Right, but determining which one rather than having both of them.
Or both if that's what they indicated.
If that's what they indicate.
So there was no funding applications or any recommendations for, this development?
It was just a development plan. When was this anticipated start date?
So the plans would go to letting, December of this year, in December, so you'd see spring construction, 27 construction, likely all through the summer with the amount of work that's there, would be my guess. There, with adding some of what you guys have been talking about, that may delay it a little bit, just if there is any right-of-way issues or anything that needs to be required, that would definitely draw a wrench in keeping that December date.
Well, I think my perspective of anytime we have a project like this coming through town, it's best to bundle, throw together what we can while we're trying to get it done, so, that was just my 2 cents on it.
So I guess as far as decisions on what to include, obviously need some more information or more thought put into maybe ballpark costs of what you guys are thinking.
If we had an idea of costing for the 2 sets of sidewalks, as in separate petitions, because I think there might be some discussion about whether we would or wouldn't want the extension from Metcalf to Woodlawn, but so that knowing what the cost was from the bike trail to Dollar General would definitely help the council to have a better be able to make those decisions.
And then going back to I guess, leaving that existing crosswalk and making the connection on Maxwell, is that?
I think just kinda wanna see where we're at with our TEEP study too, just to get what our total costs will be for your plan as described, and then incorporating what our TEEP study recommends.
Yeah, I can work with the DOT and then kinda come up with these rough numbers and give you guys a better plan of attack on what ranks the highest, or is everything included?
Yep. That'd be good.
Okay.
Other than that, the rest of the planning looks pretty good. I didn't see any outstanding issues other than we get brand new sidewalks right through the center of our town, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as an update, some of the residents should be being contacted within the next few weeks.
Had some received contact already.
Okay, good. So, JCG is the firm doing that, so to see them or hear them around.
Yep.
Very
legit.
Yeah, the timing is like perfect with our comp plan coming up. It'd be interesting to see how that all ties together and what it suggests. Then I was also wondering on extending the sidewalk to Dollar General, being a corporate customer, like would they, help with that sidewalk?
Very
Because,
potentially,
yeah,
if somebody's
like
willing to
it's
reach
bringing
out
their
to.
traffic, so just something, like looking for help. So, that's just all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Anybody else have any other questions for Mr. Jewell? Thank you very much. I don't know, we have action available. Is there anything that you need from us right now?
I don't think so. I mean, we'll just kind of continue on, with what we're doing, and any of the extras will obviously need to be decided on, so.
Well, I think this was good, cause this is really what we were looking for, was that face-to-face communication, to be able to discuss our issues and concerns, so we appreciate you coming out.
Yep, I'll reach out and get that TEEP study. It hasn't been shared with me as well yet.
Our engineer, Snyder.
Snyder did it.
Did it, but it was through the DOT. Wendy, do you have a copy?
I think so.
Okay.
If we can share it with you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Alright.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Alright,
Yeah.
number 10.
Thank you so much.
Line across the offer.
Thank you.
We are going from 7 to 10 and 11. Missed that. And then we'll go back to 8.
Dale, could I ask a quick question? You guys had set some money aside to help people with sidewalk costs. Were any of those sidewalks on this part that's gonna be
They were.
redundant, so we free that money up for other sidewalks?
We stopped that, yep.
Okay.
We stopped all progress on the Main Street sidewalks.
On Main, yeah.
So yeah, number 10.
Yep, number 10. Discussion and possible action on resolution 2026-15, a resolution approving the allocation of the City of Maxwell's investments.
Anybody's got any questions to the bank or Randy or anything, tell me now so I can text her and she'll call on the phone.
Kim, I think it might be good, cause I know she was looking at how much they could maybe improve rates on the checking account, besides CDs that they were offering.
I will text her. and get her
Might
this.
enter into your decision.
Eight, 4, 4.
Is the bank allowed to offer special rates to certain entities like the city versus what they would offer to individuals? I don't know, I'm just curious.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of wiggle room there.
Has more to do with high dollar value versus your typical, $1,000 a month checking account. Does anybody on the council have questions about this section? Is there any want or desire to make a motion or movement, or what do you guys wanna do?
I'll make a motion so we can discuss it, if we
That'd be
approve 10.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Further discussion?
That's the recommendation from finance committee.
Definitely do something better than what we currently are receiving.
Really, in the last column of that 3-year projection, looking at, based on the volatility of each of the accounts, that kind of the percentage split between CD or iPay. iPay, you can get the money back out within about 2 or 3 days turnaround. Submit it today, they sell the mutual fund, and then it's available the next day. And then checking is obviously on demand. Now, the one nice thing iPay offers is they have a cash flow projection tool that they use for municipalities. In fact, the school uses iPay for $3 million of their cash. So I think even though I kind of walked through and did that projection, I think it would behoove the council to have iPay run our history through and say, hey, we project it. But again, if it's really, it's only the CD is locked up obviously for 6 months, but the iPay would be, 3 days out.
The only concern I have with utilizing iPay is that it's not an FDIC insured. And that puts taxpayer dollars at risk.
Yeah.
So
And part of
there's,
our investment strategy is supposed to ensure that we don't put that at risk.
correct. That should be primary responsibility of the council, so that's my 2 cents on it, and we have some, good numbers from the local bank. So that's my perspective on it.
My other 2 cents worth of saying is the city should probably help its local bank with any kind of, anything to do business in town too.
And right now, currently, what do we have tied up in CDs with bank?
Nothing, everything's in a money market account.
So if we were to invest in CDs and diversify more, we automatically be doing better than what we're currently doing.
Correct.
Right now, 1.25 versus 4 on the CDs.
Yep.
iPay for year 3.4. And it is a money market mutual fund, mostly treasuries and short term. And just coming from the securities industry, a money market fund, they do not want to break the buck. It's worth $1, it's worth $1, and let's put it this way, if that fails, I'm not sure the FDIC is gonna have any money either to pay that, so that's always, it's always interesting to hear the bank regulators and the
Mhm.
SEC and discuss, but anyway, yeah. Now, giving up, I think Randy can speak to this too, if they can come up
She
with that,
calls.
they can do 2%, 2.1, I think she was talking about something a little higher, 25 basis points more.
The money market, you're talking
Yeah.
about, it's 2.15.
Yeah, but she was talking about
2.15.
being able to bump that up a little bit, that she needed to talk to her board, but,
Yep.
but anyway, I think that a lot of times IPATE did say that their rates force the banks to come to the table and give you a little bit better rate, so it's almost kinda like, hey, let's help each other
Still
out.
for the Daily Boys.
Yep. But I think either way, they would still run that cash flow generator for you, so. And IPATE is one of the approved
Mhm.
in the investment
Hey
policies.
Randy, check your text messages. Thank you. You there? Hello, you hear me? You got a minute to talk? Alright, I'm at the bank, I'm the city council, I got a question for you. Okay, hang on, I'm gonna put you on speakerphone.
Okay.
Question for Randy. I think your question was like, is there, you got money market down here at 2.15? Can,
Yeah.
or did you say that you could possibly do better than that, or is there a chance, or what?
The money, like, I mean, I can confidently say I can move that, you know, in like 25 basis points. But if we were going to structure it different than that, then I would just have to have board approval
Okay,
to deviate from that.
Bank
More than
board.
more than a quarter percent.
Okay.
And in the last month, has those numbers changed since those numbers were from February 6th?
These numbers,
Correct.
right, these numbers haven't changed, right?
That is correct.
Right, so you would need bank board approval to move it more than 1/4%.
Correct.
Is there a limit on the 6-month CD?
Is there a what?
A limit on the 6-month CD?
Like on how much you can put in it?
Yes.
No, there's not.
Okay. But there's a $15,000 minimum for the lower, or for the higher rate, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And then at the 11-month CD, there's a $25,000 limit.
That is true.
Okay.
Do you have your crystal ball polished up to see what rates are gonna do? Should we go 11 or should we go 6? Do you have a recommendation?
Do both.
I don't have that, but my
What's your gut feeling?
what's my gut feeling? I'm thinking that nothing's changed since rates have started to drop, so we'll probably stay steady at least through quarter end. And then we'll see what happens in April. That's my best estimate. We haven't talked about lowering the rates though yet this month, so.
And the next board meeting is the 25th?
I think it's the whatever the last Tuesday is.
Right.
It's either the 24th or the 25th. I think like the last Tuesday is like the 30th or the 31st, but the last full week is when we have our bank board meeting.
Right.
Yes. Obviously the benefit of the 6-month CD or the 11-month CD is the higher interest rate. I would say on the money market, yeah, I mean, we might be able to do 2.5, but I think even that I would have to get approved depending on the amount that you guys were planning on putting in there
Okay,
to deviate from it, right?
right,
I mean, because there's the interest expense is going to be different on $1.5 million versus $300,000, and I'm not sure what that amount's going to be, so that would be something that we'd want to discuss.
And am I correct in believing that a money market can be utilized as a regular checking account?
That is true.
As long as you maintain a
There's
minimum.
not transaction limits on money markets anymore. After 2020, those rules were taken out.
is there a minimum limit then, or 350, right, is the minimum?
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm like, I couldn't remember if it's 300 or 350.
350
Right now,
on the paper
yeah.
here, it says 350
Yep.
on your paper, so.
Yep. And then interest accrues daily is compounded at the end of the month at each of your statements.
Okay.
So our funds now are currently in the Now account, is that right?
Yes, I do believe so.
So it would greatly increase our chances of doing better stewardship of our money if we put it all into just the money market itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about this. I was like, even if you guys are going back and forth with, where you want to make an investment of a majority of those funds, if you are looking for a higher rate return, having the funds in the money market in the meantime is going to benefit you as well. So, I mean, even just a simple account type adjustment will benefit the city for sure.
Just changing the account, yeah.
Is there any benefit to maintaining a Now account versus throwing everything to a money market?
Nope.
Okay.
Now accounts are a fancy way of calling something an interest-bearing checking account.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It basically, in the long run, it all falls into,
It gives you
the same
0.04% more than a savings account.
Yeah.
So.
In 10 years, that's a cup of coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Not with inflation rates.
Yeah, probably not.
Alright, anybody else?
I think that answers most questions.
Yeah, Harry's got one question.
Yeah, hey Randy, as far as like the CDs, would the bank help the council just to kind of ladder the CDs, looking at the different maturities and kind of work with them on that? Kind of to your point, Doug, about rates, just kind of diversify when those things renew.
Yeah, was the question, can we stagger them?
Yeah.
Help with scheduling.
Yeah, stagger them, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely do that. Basically, I just kind of hands out giving just what we have, the product types that we have right now. We've done CDs for, 94 days. We've done them for, I don't know, 245 days. We can absolutely meet the client needs if we, but upon request, but.
Okay.
But if it's just staggering a 6-month and a 12-month and a 9-month and a 24, yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem. And if there's more specific needs, we just have to know them before we could provide a rate.
Alright, I think you answered all our questions.
Awesome. Well, I hope everyone has a good evening.
You bet. You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
calling
Randy.
back. Bye.
Yeah, you bet. Bye.
And so have one thing to add with respect to iPaid. I think there's a resolution in there to just at least do business with them, and that doesn't wouldn't commit you all to do anything with them other than it just opens the door to even just get the consultations or advice from them. So, like you said, a lot of municipalities just use them as a lever to say, hey, we can get this, can you get us a little closer?
The only other thing I see in here is the one thing that we're truly missing is that all of our trust accounts, those are non-expendable funds. I mean, it requires council action in order to utilize those funds. So those funds are literally sitting over there earning 0.1% right now. Those are the ones that should be in those CDs earning that 4%,
Yeah.
that 3.94%, because those are not immediate needed funds. If they were, we have other resources that we can use to cover, because we're not talking $1 million in those trust funds. We're talking a total of 250,000, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but those are the funds that we're trying to build. There's no better way to build them than to earn a little interest on it. So that includes the emergency trust, which is part of that $25,000 deductible. You know, if we have to wait 6 months to pay that deductible, we can cover it out of general funds until we can reimburse ourselves. That's just a council action. Washington Township Trust, Library Trust, Fire Department Trust, EMS Trust, those are all covered through the city. So
Let's make money on it.
all right, any further discussion?
So what exactly are we voting on now?
What was your motion?
Yeah, but are we gonna specify exactly what we wanna do?
This is the resolution 2026-15.
Yeah.
Says the investment allocation as a maximum percentage of available funds per the recommendation of the city's treasurer report compilation may be invested in certificates of deposit at the Iowa financial institutions approved by the depositories. The maximum percentage of funds available per the recommendation of the city's treasurer report compilation may be invested in the Iowa Public Agency Investment Trust. Remaining funds will be remaining invested in existing checking and savings accounts. Compliance, we have to meet the code. Financial officer shall ensure diversification, monitor maturity schedules to maintain adequate liquidity, and then reporting, the finance officer shall provide quarterly investment reports to the city council detailing holdings, maturities, and performance. So this is just allowing us to move forward with this, and then the next one is bonding, but we can, I think as long as we have this in place, if the council says that this is what they wanna do, or what they tell me what they wanna do, then we will make it happen.
Very good.
Opens the door for it.
Thanks for the summary, yeah.
So that's your motion?
Yep.
Second.
I already did.
Sorry.
That's fine,
Yeah,
that way we can discuss it.
Alright,
Gotcha.
any further discussion on this? Does anybody want to amend the motion to adjust to put the trust funds into?
Well, that's what I
CDs?
wondered if you wanted,
Yeah.
so yes, I'll add to the motion, move the trust funds to, what's the title, money market?
Money market.
No.
Money market account, plus, money market plus.
No, those are
CDs.
CDs.
Oh, sorry. The money market,
We're gonna move all of our funds to the money market,
okay,
and then the rest, the trust funds will go to the CDs.
CDs, okay.
Anybody have any
No,
concerns?
I agree with
As long as
that.
we're all
So
good.
that's what I did all the time with the money market.
You should have a lot of money.
That wasn't mine, it was the company I worked for, trucking company.
Alright, Joel,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
I suspect.
thank you. Alright. On to number 11. This is a resolution, 2026-16, investment policy guide, investment of public funds, and this is the bonding The city investment policy, last paragraph, section 2, originally adopted May 14, 2025, is hereby amended to reflect a bonded amount requirement reduction from 1 million. The city clerk treasurer of the city of Maxwell and all employees authorized to place investments shall be bonded in the amount of 250,000. Scope: this amended policy shall apply to the operating bonds, bond proceeds, and other funds under the control of the city unless otherwise restricted by law or bond covenants. Amended policy specifies the types of permissible investments, maturity limits, diversification requirements, and reporting standards in accordance with the Iowa law.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
Sue,
Yes.
I've got ibuprofen in the car, would you like some?
No, I can't mix the pain medications and I already took my other one. Doesn't help.
Doug?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Dick?
Yes.
Back to number 8, which I lost paper for.
I did too.
That's why we're looking at stack. Discussion and possible action on the codification project, including chapters 90 through 139 and chapters 145 through 170 of the Maxwell Code of Ordinances.
And Justin never got me the questions, he was out unexpectedly.
I understand, you told me that and I forgot about
Yeah.
it.
So will we table?
You said that. Well, I'll make a motion we table that.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Further
Thanks,
discussion?
Barry.
Thanks, Barry. Joel?
Yes.
Sue?
Thank you. Be
Derek?
here.
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Doug? Discussion and possible, number 9, discussion and possible action on resolution 2026-12, a resolution amending resolution 2026-02, appointing the mayor pro tem and council committee members. So, and there wasn't any change in this except for we didn't include the city officials section, correct?
Yeah, and Sue is chair of 2
Okay.
instead of chair of 1, vice chair of 1.
Oh, so we were adjusting that?
Yes.
And then we need to take Perry off and add Derek.
Yes, so now we need to adjust Perry and Derek.
I think that last meeting, or 2 meetings ago, or whenever this was, I was taking the chair for the enterprise committee.
For the, wherever it has the
With the
trails and
parks
that.
and trails and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I was doing that one.
Facilities.
Yeah, facilities
Facilities.
and government committee Sue's the chair of.
Yeah.
Sue is the chair of government committee?
Yes.
Whichever one
And
has the
facilities.
parks and
And
everything on it.
And the parks.
Parks is
And-
facilities.
And the one with the trails was Ken.
No, Parks and Trails are the same one.
So,
Parks and
so
Trails are all
you're
part of
wanting
facilities.
the library, city hall, cemetery, planning, and zoning.
No, the parks one is the one, because that's the one that I usually go to the meeting and up to date on.
Sue
So-
wants to be on the facilities
So
committee.
you want facilities then, responsible for operations of streets, parks and trails.
Well,
No,
you can
I'm
still,
wrong.
you can still go to the meeting.
I know, but no, this is the one, the cemetery, planning and zoning,
That's what you
board
said.
of yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
That's what you want.
Yeah,
Alright.
You're the chair of that one, okay.
yeah, that's what I had
Alright.
down.
And
So
I'm the
does-
vice,
So Ken is taking
And I'll be.
and I'm taking
I was the
facilities.
vice of government
vice of government for Joel.
and chair of
And
safety.
Ken was gonna be
So
this
which
one,
one?
the parks.
Ken was gonna be the facilities,
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
gonna be the
streets, parks and
vice.
trails.
And who is the chair of enterprise?
Doug?
Okay,
And then down here, oh, you're.
I would vice that one.
And you're second on that one.
and then Derek,
Derek.
and it's Ken and Sue,
Who's the vice of the safety?
me,
That was James.
Yep.
me.
And who's the head of safety?
I am.
Joel, okay.
Betterment committee?
Well, that would be,
That
I
was
wouldn't-
Harry
that'd
and
be
Doug.
Derek.
I wouldn't mind doing that one.
Yeah.
Derek it is.
And I was the second then.
Good. Everybody's got two,
Good.
except for Joel.
I didn't wanna be chair of two.
So then this also includes the bond attorney, or the bond counsel, the city engineer, the city, financial advisor, public works and fire chief, code enforcement, assistant public works, and EMS chief,
Who's on facilities?
the attorney law firm, the deputy clerk and zoning
Ken and
administrator,
Sue.
and the city clerk, cemetery sexton, and
Ken's
the
chair.
finance officer.
Thanks.
Just so everybody understands what all is on here.
Facilities was, Ken and then Sue.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Alright. Any further discussion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Yep, I thought we did.
Well, we had to adjust it.
Oh,
We had to put the names
I
on.
make that,
with the amendments, all right.
yeah,
So, Kent
yes,
has the second.
yes.
And Doug.
Yep.
And Sue?
Yeah.
Derek?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Kent?
Yeah.
Page 2.
I'll run back to 11.
Number 10.
No, we did 10.
10 and 11 are down.
Well,
Back to 12.
I might be off.
Discussion and possible action on the proposed 5-year agreement from the DOT for maintenance and repair of primary roads and municipalities.
Enterprise,
Wes?
facilities, 10 in year.
Wes's statement,
Wes, are you online?
Joel and Ken. Government, me and Ken.
No worries. Hey,
Government, me and Ken.
I don't know, maybe this is just a standard document, but man, there seems to be an awful lot of responsibility for the city on here. With very little.
Yeah, and, yeah, I read through that and I don't disagree. What I don't know is I'm not sure what we've had in the past with them. It might be their standard document that that's what it's always been. I don't know. So I'm not having anything to compare it to. And with the DOT, sometimes you get what you get. I don't know what opportunity there is for edits or modifications.
So.
But I think it would be worth asking them.
My question is that it says that the municipality shall maintain and repair primary highways, urban cross-section, curbed. That's the very first section. It says pavement, maintain and repair pavement in the parking lanes, intersection beyond the limits of the state pavement. So basically anything outside of the 2 lanes.
Yes, and I know that came up when they did the overlay of 210 through town several years ago, where the DOT was paying for the overlay through the main lanes, but the parking lanes, the city had to chip in to get those overlaid along with the main road. So I think that's how it's been. At least it seems to fit with what's happened before.
Which I find even more confusing because they're coming in here and replacing sidewalks. So why did they cover the
Between the two.
Why
between
did
the
they-
sidewalks.
Right.
That's a good question.
Other than they got a grant for the sidewalks, so or federal
That's
dollars.
probably the difference. They probably have allocated money that it's not their responsibility, but if they have money for it, they'll spend it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll probably end up just going with it because it seems to be tied to a lot of Iowa code.
Yeah.
And it seems to be tied right into the 28E chapter, which is working with another organization.
Yep.
And basically this is a 28E agreement with the DOT, so. Others, thoughts, feelings, questions?
I'll make a motion to approve,
I'll second.
now we can talk about it.
Further discussion?
This is till 2031, 5 year.
I mean, just looking at what it says for municipality, it appears that it's stuff that we're already doing anyway.
Which, I mean, is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not picking up any of the duties.
They'll
Well, I
pay,
mean,
they'll
they'll
pay
still-
for the sidewalk.
Yeah.
They'll still plow through town and they'll still,
And Win Road, so we have to do something with it,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
yeah,
But that just keeps it off our sidewalks, so.
That's true.
Alright, further discussion? Darren?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Joel?
yes.
Doug?
Yeah.
And motion carries. On to 13, discussion and possible approval of the market and the park rental agreement covering time period November 1st, 2025 to October 31st, 2028.
Move we approve it.
I'll second just so we can discuss it.
Discussion.
So it's only $15. They're only paying us $15 every, so
Yeah.
$30 a month?
Yeah, Lauren said when they went from weekly to bi-monthly,
Bi-monthly.
then the rate changed from 25 to 15.
I just, what's the rental on if somebody else was gonna rent that much area of the park?
The whole park, it's $10 usually an item, a building.
$10 a spot.
Yeah.
And I think,
Which is only like, so like they use the bandstand, so that would be $10.
how much is it for the church stand? Oh,
50 for the church stand.
Yeah.
But they don't typically use that. I use
no,
it.
I'm not saying that they do, but if it's 50 for that, I think $15 is like getting a kick in, we're taking a kick in the pants for it. I tell it the way it is. Sorry.
I was just kinda confused about it. I mean, they're renting that for the entire day and then
Yeah.
if we're losing out if somebody else wanted to rent the area out,
If you charge
you
$20.
charge for every building that's down there.
Do we have any receipts or monetary receipts that show some of the things that the market and the park has done for the city with their revenues?
I could get some.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's.
The money comes back to us one
Yeah,
way or
it's
the other.
significant.
Yeah, okay.
And they pay for their own
Wow.
trash,
That's-
I know that.
Now, we don't have a Casey's, we don't have a grocery store, we don't have any other businesses that are open that people that come to the market would be able to use for the city to have
But
money coming in.
The market and the park donates money back to the city organizations, whether it be buying
Park
Garbage
equipment,
cans,
or
park
trash
equipment,
cans. They
yeah.
bought all these new trash cans a couple of years ago. That was like
Yeah.
$20,000 worth of trash cans.
Yeah.
Picnic tables,
And that was a choice donation that they made, correct?
right.
It wasn't something you can count on, it was something that was a
You
choice
can never count
donation.
on donations. I mean, if they wanted to, they
Yeah,
could've.
I'm just
they-
saying,
I know, but I mean, if they wanted to, they could've just pocketed $20,000 extra dollars.
okay,
So,
so what do you charge for a dog off leash? A fine.
Are you
Okay.
saying we need to fine? the
What
market in the
what
park?
about a parking ticket? How much a fine? How much, is it the same? I think we haven't collected for dogs or for parking or for any other type of fines in this community.
well, why are we talking about dogs and parking when we're trying to?
Talking
Because
about-
$15 is ridiculous to rent the whole park. Another $5 wouldn't hurt, at least it's a little bit more
How much is
income.
a burial plot?
I have no idea, cause I'm gonna be cremated, and I really don't care.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, you know, I bet it's way cheaper than,
It's $100.
yeah, it's $100.
But what
So, I
I'm
mean,
saying
that's
is,
for
it's the
eternity.
whole park. You're not following Ben's
I'm-
line versus woman's line on things, I guess.
Alright,
I hear you.
Yeah, I think it's $5 wouldn't hurt, and what about everything else has gone up, what, 2.8% or something? So why should that not go up too?
If we're going up 2.8%, that's only gonna be another 35 cents.
That was an example, not. You'll learn.
Any
if I do
further
that.
discussion?
I wrote things out and.
Okay, we have a
I have
motion
no
on the
more.
table to approve, I'm sorry,
I have no more discussion.
Doug,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Sue,
No,
Joel.
Yes.
The motion carries. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 2026-17, a resolution setting the date and time for a public hearing on the proposed tax levy for fiscal year 2027 on.
Oh, you skipped
You skipped
14.
14.
Yeah, you-
14, please.
Like third millennium.
I thought, my bad. Discussion and discussion of the approved development agreement with Third Millennium and review of bond council's recommendations. Sorry about that. 14.
Make a motion, approves over the top.
Yep.
One second.
Discussion.
I'm not a fan of the idea of creating a sticky situation in the future. I like things cut and dry. So I don't like the idea of leaving that option in there. I think if we set a limit of 10 years or something of that sort, it needs to be cut dry.
I do too, because it's a lot of money to reconsider in 10 years. And
you weren't.
who knows where we'll be in 10 years.
You weren't here for all of the discussions that we had prior to this and how they have cooperated with us so much. They need to have a little bit of cooperation, and that doesn't have to be changed. It's just in there, just in case.
And I spoke
Okay.
what I took that as.
I think working with them, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
I don't think he's trying to take anything away, Sue. I think what he's trying to say is that we need to set it at 15 years if we're gonna set it at 15 years, or we need to set it at 10 years if we're gonna set it at 10 years.
Correct. Set your terms.
Okay, that clarifies what you were saying, but if we could leave it at the 10, that's fine. If we need to, then we have the option available.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to stay away from.
Take the option out of it.
Take the option out,
So
because
leave it at 10.
if you guys, basically what he's saying is this council decides what happens for the next 15 years if this is what happens. Or we set it at 10 and this is what still happens for the next 10 years and there's no opportunity later.
That's what every ordinance that we have within the city, prior councils have done it, and each and every council has dealt with it along the way. So what's the difference between this and what everything else that's been done in the past?
I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
Third
see-
Millennium
This is the Development Corporation.
for the,
right. I just think the numbers that they gave us showed us that the 15 would be the most advantageous. So I can't see setting it at 10 when their numbers showed us that it was like 13 years. So if we set it at 15, it's gonna be done before then anyway.
Mayor,
Yes.
Go ahead.
You know, just keep in mind that if you adjust that year, you went to your taxing entities and talked about 10. You would have to have a consultation again with your school district. And Board of Supervisors and notify DMAC.
And that's
And
to adjust
Tiana.
it to 15.
Yes. You have
And
to.
I think Tiana, too bad Perry's gone, but she was saying 10 is standard, why would you wanna deviate?
Yeah.
I
But
She
you would
looked
have
at the
to
numbers.
start,
He knows.
you would have to start again. Are Manny and Clint on the phone?
Manny or Clint?
Yes, I am on the phone. This is Clint Fox, representing Third Millennium Development.
Thank you,
So, Clint, if they move to 15, they've gotta start again.
Excuse me? I'm sorry?
If they go to 15 years, they're gonna have to have a consultation hearing again with the taxing entities, bring it back to council.
Well, my understanding of our last meeting, the last discussion, was that was what was to happen between the February meeting and this meeting, was to have that discussion with those other entities.
And that did not happen. Because we didn't have an approved development agreement at the time.
So what I'll say is, so what we discussed at the previous meeting, or in previous meetings, I will say plural, is that the amount is to not exceed amount. So right now we're projected to, what we were saying previously was that in order, in the projections we have now, to get the amount that we're requesting, it would take 12 and a half years to collect that with the current tax structure and the current trajectory of our build out and et cetera. So the request is that we would be able to either have the option at year 9 or if you want to do it, say, do a 10-year now, and then in year after, in 2 years time, we come back and say, where are we at with everything, where are we at with the legislature? Because right now that's also in the air as far as how that's going to impact the tax structure. But I mean, our goal is, we're trying to make progress. We'd like to get started actual vertical construction here this spring. Our goal is to get started sometime in May if possible. But, we've been kind of moving forward without this development agreement for months, and we really need to have some concrete assurances that we have this funding in hand before we can really go vertical.
So we can still say 10, is that right? And then still come around year 9?
I believe that that's an option that they can ask for it unless we specifically exclude it from the language.
Correct.
So the development group would always have the opportunity to ask for it, regardless whether we set a 10
For economic conditions we're concerned, would you consider amending our development agreement?
So if we approve 10 now, it doesn't preclude something from being adjusted later.
Just, we don't, what our bond counsel has indicated, we don't want to include it as language that is what we are banking on.
Because you're committing future councils.
So that'll be up to the future council at that point in time when Third Millennium comes back and says, hey, we readjust this because of X, Y, and Z.
As long as we could do that, that sounds reasonable.
Is that your understanding, Clint?
That's my understanding, yes. And so if you are to approve it for 10 years now, at some point in the future, we could come back to the council at that time and request an extension or request possibly 15 years. But right now, it sounds like that is, you don't want to include that language based on what your council has told you, but it's an option for us to go through that process.
It's still an option available to you. It just doesn't have to be included as language.
Correct. Okay. And I think, again, it's one of those things where we'll be tracking every year once we collect to see where we're at in that process. And I think we'll know after 3 or 4 years, we'll be able to project that
Any further discussion?
And that's currently sitting at a 10-year correct?
I believe it is written as a 10.
Leave it as written. Still take my motion.
Okay. Further discussion? Sue?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ken? Joel?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
That is approved.
Clint,
Thank
it's
you,
Brenda
Council.
Dreyer.
Yes.
What's your projected, do you think, on starting houses?
So right now we are working with Alliant Energy to schedule our install for gas and electric. And that is looking to be scheduled sometime out in April. And our goal is to start building in May. We also need to go through the permitting process as well, so we need to get with Wendy and I'm not sure or who does your inspections and reviews, but that'd be our next step with the city.
Clint, last week we held the housing summit. We missed you. I have your award and you're not here. But Nick Sorensen seemed pretty clear at that event that awards made on workforce housing tax credits need to be started by June 1st. So just be aware of that.
We are.
Okay.
Yes, we're getting to that for sure.
Okay, good. Just making sure, doing my due diligence.
Yes.
Thank you, Brenda.
You bet.
Thank you, Clint.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Council.
You bet.
Alright. On to 15. Discussion and possible approval of resolution 2026-17. A resolution setting date and time for the public hearing on proposed tax levy for fiscal 2027. We have a date.
4 feet of 26.
Is that right, Wendy?
Yes.
April 8th?
April 8th.
8th, 2026. Okay.
My motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. Doug?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Derek?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
On 16, discussion and possible approval of resolution 2026-18, a resolution setting the date and time of public hearing for the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget amendment on, is it also April 8th?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. April 8th.
And we're 6:15.
Yeah, the first one was 6 and the second one was 6:15.
Got it. Move approval.
Second?
Further discussion? Ken?
Yeah.
Sue?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
That is approved. Discussion and possible action regarding the closeout on Baldwin project.
You mean we can finally get past Baldwin?
Hold your breath.
String emails today. DOT is basically closing it out with the exception of CDBG grant because we can't make the final pay app. I asked for Spencer to send the numbers that we asked for in council in March. Current dollar amount of Riley's retainage is $30,000. The Riley anticipates billing on their final pay app of $33,933, plus the release of the retainage. Number of working days being considered for damages, along with any other accumulated damages, 21.5 days at $1,000 per day, 21.5. Reduction's been applied to the final, semi-final pay app. Spencer or Wes, do you have any additional information for us?
How about that, fellas? No, I do not.
Okay.
What? That was a long wait to find my mute for nothing. Sorry.
You're all right.
Alright, I have some concerns, and ongoing concerns. Wes, you know what I'm gonna say before I say it. Their day count is,
I'm gonna do the next report.
I didn't understand.
Nothing.
Okay. With confirmation and pictures, the very minimum is 8 days more than what they have.
Yeah. So one of the things, Doug, that I asked Spencer to have do, so we have started the audit with the DOT. And so I asked Spencer if the DOT's audit normally looks into the working days. And he said they typically don't, other than just to make sure that they're there. But I asked, is that something we could ask them to do? And just make sure that what we've got counted, you know, the information you have. And so he said, yes, that's something that they could do if we asked them to. So we're gonna go ahead and ask the DOT audit people to look at that too. That also would add, if they come up with more, you know, if they think that it's more in line with what you're thinking, they give some clout to the contractor. Yeah, this is the DOT saying what this is.
That would be good if they would. And I'm not trying to be biased, but on a bad day,
I totally understand.
Bad day, I could put another 10 days with that they definitely have workers here.
Yeah, and I tried to read through the specification section from the DOT's guidelines specs for working days, and my brain started spinning. So it's definitely complex, and it helps be an insider to understand it. So I think if we have DOT help us on that, then it'll make sure that we're thinking right, and that if we miss something and it's legit, then we get it, and if it's not, then maybe they can help explain it too.
Okay, because I know substantial completion is a phrase, and I did a whole bunch of looking too, and makes your head spin, you're right.
Yeah.
But they took the whole month of April off, which they're allowed to do, but then the day count should begin, and that was where they did not restart their day count. So if they could help us with another opinion and support us, we hope, I think we need to delay approving this. Do we have enough money that if they decide not to pay us in retainage and other places that we can get if the DOT helps us and says no, that you need to be 30 days instead of 21?
Yeah, so I believe the retainage that we're holding right now, because the contractor has not signed that last pay app, the retainage that's being held now is quite a bit more than anything we would have in liquidated damages. I think by the DOT's guidelines, they don't like or they don't allow using the retainage to pay for liquidated damages. You have to do a contract amendment, but 6 one, half dozen the other, it all comes out the same in the end. But that's just paperwork once it's done. So, but what we are currently holding, which the contractor hasn't signed, so we haven't paid him yet, is
63.9.
What about the hours and extra things, time that you have committed since we're approaching 2.5 years on this project? You obviously would have been done months ago, years ago.
Yep, no, so I think I mentioned this last month's meeting a little bit, that we're, I think, we may be like 16,000 past our original budget. So we would be within that liquidated damages cost, which is what the LDs are for, is to cover additional costs due to delayed completion. So we're still within that number of liquidated damages.
Okay, thank you.
Wes, my question is, at what point can I write off this $63,000 as me not paying them?
It would have to be after after the DOT's audit, after the DOT made their final, claim, and determination on everything, whether the contractor agreed or not, that would be the time that could be closed out. So, that audit is ongoing right now. We asked them and they, conceded to start that audit without that last payout being signed. So they're undergoing that right now, and I don't know how long that takes. I hope it's not too long, but that is what's going on right now.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion to table this until after the audit?
I believe so.
I would motion that.
Okay.
I'll second, definitely.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Sue?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Joel?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Alright. Discussion and action, possible action on the Woodlawn Storm Sewer Project and related budget impacts. So, this is one that we put on here because we've spent roughly $35,000. Does that sound about right, Wes? Having engineering completed on Woodlawn?
It's been a while. I don't remember what our agreement amount was. I know I think we're maxed at it. So we spent it all. I don't remember what that was.
My rough estimates on the costing was roughly $35,000 is what we've paid for that project so far for engineering.
$35,750.
Alright. So, and then the project, my rough estimates, the project cost was $313,000. So we've spent roughly 10% of the cost of the entire project already. I hate to see this, but this would be like the 12th project that one of these councils has put together plans and engineering costs and done nothing with. So if we're gonna continue to spend $35,000, I think we should put it to use. My point of view on that is we've already spent $35,000. We need to figure out either a way to pay for this, look for funding for it, or keep the process going to get it going.
How many other streets in this town, I'm not saying just mine, how many other streets need sewer taken care of, need road taken care of?
And where do we start?
And wasn't that a flood area from day one, that they built the homes down there, they moved into the homes down there, so why is this a priority over every other street in this community?
Cause we have $35,000 wrapped up into it already.
That's fine, it's been that way for a year, it can be that way for another year until we have budget and we have money to do it. And if we have money to do things like this, then take care of the streets that everyday people, many people drive on and use on a daily basis, more so than what they do on Woodland, because it was a flood area in the very beginning, it always has been. And it's not gonna take care of the problem. What we discussed will not take care of the problem of flooding on Woodlawn. It's gonna be a Band-Aid. It's gonna be an expensive Band-Aid.
Part of our expenses so far were evaluating two different options, whether to put the tube underground, which is what would look nicer, no question about that. But another option was about half of that price, to basically dig out the ditches and put in some more inlets and a few different things. Have we given up on that completely, that side of the options?
I don't remember seeing that in the plans. I remember it being a ditch and basically under, I think there was probably at one point there was a tile gonna be placed, and I don't think that was gonna happen, with the exception of further down towards, as you got closer to the softball field, simply because the ditches weren't gonna be able to manage it.
But that,
Well, obviously, underground is gonna be more expensive when we do have to maintain it. I do not remember us deciding that it had to be underground rather than just making a swale.
So
We did or not?
here's my conundrum with this. previous councils have already asked for this study to be done. The study was done. The study comes back with a plan of action. It included underground and it included ditching. And we can argue whether it should be ditching or water tiling again. That's gonna require additional engineering. We have an completed engineered plan. So we can either take action on that plan or we can set it aside. That, I don't wanna spend another dollar deciding that we're gonna re-engineer a plan that's already been engineered probably 5 times.
Wasn't that already included in the plan though? Isn't that an option? I thought they did both at the time.
We'd have to pull out the plan. I don't know off the top of my head.
Cause we kinda settled on this underground one.
Wes, do you remember?
Yeah, so we did a study that looked at 2 options, and we put some preliminary costs to the 2 options. One that was completely underground pipes, and one that was ditched with culverts underneath streets and driveways and things like that. So the study presented both of those with some rough costs associated. There was a public meeting held, just for background, because some of you guys may not have been around back then, but there was a public meeting held to present the options. The public in the area really wanted to have it be not disruptive to the front yards and the ditch area, because there was a pretty large ditch requirement in front of the houses that are up there at the north end by the school. The decision at the time was to proceed with the piped option with some modifications. We downsized the pipe a little bit to save some costs, and we went with the perforated pipe, so it kind of acts like a tile, but some minor modifications, and that's the design that was proceeded with at that time based on previous council's decision and direction. So we did do a study for the different options, but the plans that were prepared were based on the decision to go with a piped option.
Thank you.
I have a question. How many homes are affected with Woodlawn versus, take 6th Street alone, just because I'm familiar with that. There's 10 houses if you count the fourplex. And we've got property owners, how much in taxes are they paying and putting up with the flooding that we're putting up with? That's just an example. There's many others other than that one.
I'll give you another example. Baldwin Street, that was $65,000 per house.
Yeah.
To replace that section of road and water line. You don't
But
get dollar for dollar bonus per house. It's not what it's about.
It's about
the community good.
No, it's not how things look.
This is a first stage project of a water issue that everybody on the other end of town is complaining about too.
That's fine, but what I'm saying is how many taxpayer dollars is on on Woodlawn versus all these other water problems throughout the community. How much are those taxpayers paying?
It's about a third of the community because it's affecting that big of a section of town.
That's right, and they've got a lot more tax dollars coming into this city.
I'm talking about
Woodlawn.
I'm talking about Woodlawn. It's about a third of the community.
Oh, well, you don't count the same way I do then.
You're right, because it's part of the flood plan, part of the water management plan. It's bigger than just the street.
Does that bring in tax dollars?
No, but it helps keep
Okay,
houses.
what about the tax dollars for the people who live in this community that are paying for services that they're not getting?
And what are those? What are they not getting?
They're not having a road that dumps water into their basement, ruins their foundation, have black mold in their basement because the city wouldn't do a damn thing to take care of it. And I'm not the only one.
Alright, so council has my information on it, my recommendation. It's up to them to do what they choose.
I think we need to look for funding to move on, to move forward. We have to start somewhere, and I think you gotta open up where the water's gonna go before you can force the water down there, or you're gonna actually flood their places. So.
Is that a motion?
So, I'll make a motion, we try to find funding for it, whether through grants or whatever.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Doug?
Yeah.
Ken?
Yeah.
Sue?
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Wes, we're on to you.
You have a report from him?
I think it was a way
Number 18.
Okay.
Yes.
That was what we just took
Did
care
I
of.
hear you say you're on the meeting, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
That was what we already took care of, that was wrong.
That's
We're on
fine.
19.
Okay, that's, I just want the letterhead.
We're on 19B. I don't have anything.
Thanks for working with me being call-in today, I appreciate that. Nothing really big and new. Just a heads up that or not heads up, but the zoning map is now live on the Beacon GIS website, so if you're interested in zoning, that database is now available through the Beacon site with a parcel mapping. So that is out there now. Most of the stuff we've already talked about in some way, form or another. The wastewater treatment, the water treatment plant backwash pump station plan. We did get the PR approved from the DNR, so that one is set up to submit the construction permit once we set a construction schedule on that we're going forward with that one. I don't want to submit the construction permit yet until we know that we've got a bid date set, because you have a year for the permit to get that done, so we don't want to have to delay that, extend that permit, but that's ready to go from the DNR side. I know the city was looking at budgeting with Tiana on that. Did we get direction from Tiana on financing for the water treatment plant project?
I believe we got that today.
What's this?
That's TIF. That's different. I don't know if we've got that one yet. We will double check and we'll make sure we get that to you.
Okay.
Thanks, Wendy.
Because once I know that you guys got that, we're good to go. We can start getting the process for resolutions to take bids and award contract and make sure we get that done by the August of 2027. So we still got some time, but we're hoping that we're seeing really good bid prices right now on projects. Contractors are a little bit hungry with projects that are out there, so I think if we could get that bid here soon, we probably could see some good prices, hopefully on that one. So.
I like the sounds of that.
Yeah. Baldwin Street outlet, storm outlet, I stepped over that one. Construction is done on that. I have plans to make a trip up there to check it out and do a punch list on the final remaining work, before we recommend acceptance of that. I don't know if any of the council or anybody's been out to see that project or have any concerns or questions on that work. They did it pretty quick once they got going, so nice to see they got it in there and got out. So, but if there's any questions on that, glad to chase that down or answer when I can.
Okay. Anybody have anything? Nope.
And that's pretty much all I got. Short and sweet this month.
Alright. Thank you, Wes. Alright. Council and mayor comments. Eric, welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Got just a quick little blurb. I feel like we, as a council, should probably explore opening up that ordinance on the dogs side of it and actually have a council discussion. I don't know if it requires a formal motion to add it to the next agenda or not, but I feel that we could openly discuss it and see where that takes us.
Thank you. Could I say two things with that? Dale, I'm not gonna open or ask to reopen Everett's decision. I told you I accepted it and I have. If it changes to where it becomes a majority council vote, I don't intend on opening that. And secondly, Steve Gast has offered me now twice 2 different versions of how to legally word the new ordinance if you vote to change it. So if you're willing and you vote after you agree to maybe discuss it and vote to maybe change it, I would willingly work with Steve to get something written that would be hopefully easily approved by a lawyer. Just offer to help.
I think the easiest path forward on this is for one of the council members to present the ordinance as amended, and they can work with you and Steve to get that brought forward, and then we can just add it as an agenda item for the next meeting.
Yep.
And work through the 3-meeting process in order to get it approved.
Thank you.
Anything else, Eric?
That's all I got.
Sue?
Well, I was going to go to move to accept Rich's changes on the dog ordinance.
And we can't do that. It's an ordinance. Has to go through a process. So we're going to rewrite the ordinance and bring it back to council and go through the 3-meeting
I was
process.
just going to open it up for Rich to be able to do that so that we could make the changes necessary.
Okay.
Derek's suggestion works for that.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's fine, whatever.
Anything else?
No, other than, I hope you understand why I have not been able to be here. This is a very serious thing. Can't walk, I can't drive, because my right leg does not move. It's like a major, major Charlie horse that is persistent and never gives up, and I've been dealing with it for 6 months. So I hope you understand why I couldn't come to the council meetings, but I was on the phone.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's what it's there for. There's no concerns for me for that.
Well, I was made to feel as if I was shirking my duty, and that's why I'm here tonight in pain.
Anything else?
No.
Nope.
Have we heard anything back on the speed sign on the south end of town?
The vendor is having issues with multiple, cities that got the grant. I email them about once a month and.
Yeah, I think they just keep giving you the
Mhm.
same answer.
It's the downside to free stuff.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
It's the company's Traffic Logics, if you know anyone or can get.
Traffic Logic?
Yep,
Got an email contact for me?
just at the DOT.
Would you send it to me?
Mhm.
I'll send them an email.
I'd be happy to.
Or Joel can. Anything else, Joel?
And then, I asked about it before, the Veterans Memorial down here, I know they're having trouble trying to find matching tops, or, do we have contacts with a vendor that's looking at fixing that, or?
I can ask Randy Pritchard. He's the one who pretty much built that down there, so he probably has contacts all the time.
Cause I'm just looking at, I mean, I would like to see that fixed before the next Veterans Day.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it fixed long before that, but, I think it's something we need to move on. We're holding insurance on that area. Now, our deductible matches about what we've got on that area, so.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're gonna have to pay for that, but I think we need to look at moving forward on that so that it gets fixed. It's a disservice to the veterans that have served for it to look like that and not get repaired by the city.
I agree. And if they're willing to put together some costs,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
can get back to us.
Yep.
And I'm certain that the VFW and Legion aren't
They got
too concerned about helping, so. Be a shared venture, the city wants to help.
Yes. That's all I got.
Thank you. Doug?
Solar panels are still at the top of my list here. We've got a deadline for the RFPs of July 1st. And listening to the two presentations the other night, July 3rd is a deadline to commit to something. It gives us 2 or 3 days in there. Is there any way we could move the RFP up a couple of weeks or more so we can decide and then get the ball rolling? Plus also on the budget side of it, if we're looking at $400,000, we need to kind of do some planning as we work next Wednesday on the budget again. So thoughts on that anybody has?
I would make a couple recommendations. One, no project happens without funds, and we don't have any funds available or assigned to that. So start with funding first. So if we want to reach out and get some banks involved and see if, I do have an email into Tiona. Is that right, Wendy?
Yes.
cause I was trying to make the determination as to our debt load. There's a condition on a debt load on a community, about how much debt they can take on based on the debt they currently have, in comparison to the valuation. So, I need that number, whether or not we can take on $450,000 debt, and if we can, then we need to know our rates and what opportunities we're gonna get from local banks. So we need 3 of those conditions, 3 different bank opportunities to choose from. And then, or how much of it we are going to fund out of general fund, based on the next month's, resolution. But we can also add it to next month's to move it up to June if we wanted to.
I think that'd be
Does that
helpful.
I think that covers all the aspects that we're looking for.
And we didn't get specifics, but when, we talked to Tiana, she said, cause we told her 400,000, cause it was the number that we were thinking at that time. She said, no, you'd be okay to not reach your maximum at that point.
Okay.
We didn't go any further than that.
And I don't wanna go to maximum, cause that's
No,
it's a bad look
absolutely
for
not.
every community, because
Yeah.
things happen. But how quickly would that turn back for the community? As long as we're not at an 8% interest rate, cause you start hitting 8%,
Yeah.
then you're not getting anything.
Right.
You're not really getting any return on your dollar at that point. But the fact that we pay $62,000 a year adds up really quick in
At that one site, yeah.
and making
Yeah.
a payment towards, borrowed money, so.
Right. Okay, so that's one thing there. The comp plan, we are proceeding with that. We need to be sure to budget 6,000 or 7,000 when we get to that again. I'm talking budget numbers for next week. They also wanted a person to be their contact person in my original communications back and forth with Iowa State reps. And I don't know if we've assigned that or what that would involve. But that's something we need to.
I thought it was Joel, but I can
I was
look
thinking
again.
it fell under the,
Community betterment.
Okay,
Was it-
okay.
was it community government or was it government?
Could be either or.
Let's
All right,
say,
so that was the other thing I didn't have.
I'm not on community betterment, so.
Sounds like it was government then.
Well, in government, she's actually the chair, so.
Well, if I can do it before my back surgery, then fine, otherwise,
Would we be better off putting it on community betterment?
to me, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Who's on community betterment? There we go.
Congratulations.
First assignment.
I'm not the only one though. There is another one who can replace me
Yep.
if
You
necessary.
can, huh?
Yeah,
You can,
replace
huh?
you.
and when they take me out the door feet first, somebody's gonna have to take over.
All right, and then where we are in Tiger Wise, and I know they wanna close Army Post Road for, Old Settlers, but you were gonna help find some language to make it a level B or whatever, and I haven't found anything, so those are the things that were on my mind. That's all.
Ken?
I was online looking at, government auctions and stuff, and I found this thing for Frisbee golf baskets at $1,000 right now for 9 of them, but I just looked up, I think we're okay with, probably just waiting and buying some later.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I did see some, I was talking to the deputy, like I said, I've seen the other deputy, day deputy in town a couple times, so, and it's nice just to know that he's there, so. What else? I think that's all I got. That's all I got.
Thank you. The only thing I had was Wendy gave me some bad news. My grant application for using technology for the self-driving cars to find the curbs to be able to do curbs in town failed. So, but it was definitely worth a shot.
You know, I'm really glad my feet don't touch the floor.
You know,
Hey, you can only try.
You can only try. So, Wendy, do you have anything else?
I looked up the voting on the budget minutes, and it says, it doesn't matter, since there was only 2 members present at the special meetings, the minutes are approved by the current council, and so the people that were there can, if they approve the
With
minutes,
just the
it
2.
can make any.
Good.
Very good. So, well, I'll bring that back around.
Sure. And we can have it posted again.
So, since it's still my turn.
Circle back, circle
4B.
back.
4B. Approve the minutes from February 18th, 2026 budget workshop. And this is Ken and Doug only.
No,
No,
Joel.
Doug
Or
and
Joel and Doug, sorry.
Move to approve.
Second.
Further discussion?
Bill,
Joel?
Yes.
Doug?
Everyone
Yes.
can vote,
Everybody can vote?
yeah.
Oh!
Ken?
was that
Yeah,
February
Sue.
11th?
18th.
Oh, the 18th,
No,
okay, so it's the
Sue.
11th.
Sue and Ken still can't, they weren't here. So,
I just
okay.
shut it. It
Yes.
just said,
Okay,
The current council.
alright, we're good.
'Kay.
We got 3 votes.
We'll all be in jail.
Yeah, I say no.
I doubt that. Alright, I don't have anything else.
Oh, I got a question for you. Did your sign get picked up for the cemetery, Pioneer Cemetery?
The attempt was made a couple times, never quite made connection. I'm sure she wants to do it,
Okay.
so. Yep.
None?
I had what he's talking about was the Pioneer Cemetery. I found it
Yes.
laying in my yard.
Yes.
It got blown down and was wrecked a little bit. So I put a note out for community members, anybody willing or wanting to refurbish or replace. And I had somebody interested, so just waiting for them to come pick it up. And
Good,
work
because I
with it.
wanted to go by and blow it down myself. It's been that way for too long. I've got a friend that came from Kansas City just to see that. His grandfather was the founding father of Maxwell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Sue, we're waiting on you.
Okay, I move we adjourn for the evening, and Dale can get my city email set up because I've got a new phone and there's a special code that has to be used that I don't have.
I will second that.
Including the email.
Further
The
discussion?
email part, huh?
Joel?
Yes.
Well, it's,
Sue?
yes,
Ken?
Yeah.
it's not
Doug?
easy trying to find out
There.
what's going
Yes.
on.
We're
because
good.
I haven't done that. Try
Yeah,
it.
you didn't have an email yet either, that's what I was saying.
Well, tonight's his first night.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll work with Steve.
Yeah.